Drag Racers.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Maddox. And the reason I'm in drag tonight is because I have a performance afterwards at Vlada Bar and Lounge.
And the reason I'm in a wig is because I felt like wearing a wig.
And you look like a Carrot Top.
Anyways, for all of Season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race, we will be bringing you our top 3 moments of every episode, our favorite shade moment of the week,
our favorite queen of the week, our favorite costume on the runway, and our predictions for next week.
So stay tuned.
What do you want? What's the tea? You tell me what's the tea. What's the tea? You tell me what's the tea.
So, what was your first favorite moment of the week?
My first favorite moment of the week was Billy B bringing some shade to Dita's life. First of all, I already love and adore Billy B. I think he's a hot silver fox, and he initiated the war against Dita Ritz.
Finally.
And yes, they never comment bad or good on Dita Ritz on the runway. They just kind of bypass her. But this week, Billy B was like, you look like a pedestrian, you're wearing a t-shirt again, those pants are kind of cute, but it's not couture like you said they were, and you look a mess, and you need to work on yourself. And I actually love that he did that, because finally they talk shit about Dita, which they never do. What was your first favorite moment?
My first favorite moment was actually quite a large moment. It was the entire runway. I feel like this runway, out of the entire season, I feel like it was maybe the most entertaining.
Yeah.
There were 3 things to me that made this runway the best. The first was those sexy waves. They were doing it for me. Like no waves have ever done it for me before. And my second favorite part about the runway was Michelle's tits. They were out to play, and they were playing for keeps.
Huge.
They were, and always Michelle's tits are the highlight of usually her
Yeah,
entire
but she had them
outfit.
pushed up to her chin today.
They were chin supporters. She was looking good. And my third thing was, all I have to say is Kelly Osbourne needs to be a permanent judge for season 5, because having her on this show made it much more entertaining.
Gorgeous.
So that made the runway my first favorite moment.
My second favorite moment was in Untucked. Kenya wrote a letter, apparently. Well, who knows if Kenya actually wrote.
I'm sure someone helped her with her English.
Yeah, but Kenya wrote a letter to all the girls telling them what she thought about them. And it was the shadiest thing on the planet. First it started off kind of good, because it was Fifi first. And she's like, Fifi, I love you, you're my sister, I can't wait to see you again, yada yada yada. But then she's like, Jiggly, you should have went home the first week when you lip sync. Dita, you look a mess. Willem, you have a man face. It was epic.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
And all the girls were just sitting there like, ooh. And Fifi's like, oh, it's so shady. But everything she's saying is true, because everything she said about her was nice.
I was like, I love you the best. My second favorite moment was on the runway again, because it was kind of epic. When Latrice is being introduced and RuPaul says,
Lady Turquoise.
Just like that, basically. Which is very Maddox Madison of her.
Oh my god, I said RuPaul steals all of my things. Always did that before Drag Race.
It
now
was epic. I loved it. We were DVRing it, and I rewound it and watched it again.
It was really funny. My third favorite moment was hanging out with Kelly. This was the first time a judge actually came backstage and talked one-on-one with the girls. It was really cute. Kelly Osbourne, I love every second of her. She was asking them questions like, where do you put it? And things like that. She's just really fun. I love that she came backstage. It was fun.
Yeah. My third moment was, and I have to be honest, for half of this episode, nothing happened. And
nothing.
It was 10:30, and we were like, what's happening in this episode?
Can something happen?
My third favorite moment was definitely Latrice being sexy and getting all the water dumped on her. And she says, girl, I could have jumped in that pool, and the pool would have been empty. then it cuts to a close-up of her, like, padded ass walking away, and every time she steps, she squirts out a little bit of water. You know, and and I say this week after week, she totally owns herself better than anyone in the history of this show. She's amazing, so that was definitely...
She loves herself, she knows what she's about, she has no qualms about it, and that's why she's so lovable, because she accepts who she is, and it's just amazing. Amazing. What's your favorite shade of the week?
My favorite shade of the week is, of course, from the Queen of Shade herself, Willem. And
her whole being is Shade.
Well, yeah, her middle name is Shade.
Willem Shade Belly.
So she's talking to Dita, and she's like, "Oh, so you wore that shirt. Like, what did you think they kind of clocked you for that shirt?
Because you wore a t-shirt."
She's like, "I look fit. I look stupid.
I look couture."
Right? No, you don't. You look like an idiot. But then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, did you have that stain on the runway?" And Dita's like, "What are you talking about?" Stain. She's like, "Yeah, right above the heart. Did you have that?" And Dita looks at it and she's like, "Whatever." And Willem just gives her this look. She's like, And I just thought, I mean, that's Willem to a T. Like,
RuPaul gave my shade of the week because, well, it wasn't really shady. It was like funny and playful, it was just awesome. Latrice was turquoise and she looked phenomenal, but she walks on the runway and she has on all turquoise, and RuPaul goes, "Wow, look at all that water." Who was your queen of the week? He wouldn't tell me before.
I'm not going to tell him because I want to watch
I want to be shocked.
This happen. And
Okay,
I have to say, I'm shocked myself. But my queen of the week is Willem. I know, and I never thought I would hear myself say it, but Willem owned this episode. I feel like I've gotten used to her being her, so like I get her personality now. And I think this episode was the first time where I was like, okay, I like it, I accept it, and now I enjoy it.
I don't not enjoy Willem. I used to not enjoy Willem. I think she's very funny. I think she does some things that are great.
Yes. This episode for me, though, put her beyond... Well, okay, regardless of that...
Well, no, not regardless of that, because you are a drag queen, and this is your moneymaker. And then all she says is, "Oh, I have on Dolce & Gabbana," which is fierce. I am a fashion queen. I went to school for fashion design, and I live for the fashions. And she always has on nice shoes and a nice outfit.
Let me say my piece.
Yes.
She, obviously, when it came to being sexy, she does that very well.
She does.
She has a body.
Yeah, her legs are really fierce.
Yes, so I knew she was going to win the mini challenge once
I knew that too. Yeah.
Performance, if that's what we will call it. And then, I mean, I have to say her boat was, I mean,
her boat was fierce.
She knows how to work RuPaul. She knows how to work the judges. She knows how to work this show.
I will give her that.
She's very smart.
She's very strategic. She knows how to do it.
So she knew how to plug RuPaul's book without RuPaul having to do it herself, which any day that happens is a godsend.
Exactly.
I just feel like this episode, she did finally owned it. And I am very proud of her. So, yes, Willem was my queen of the week. I said it.
I agree with you. So my queen of the week was Kelly Osbourne. I know she's not an actual queen, but girl, she turned this episode out. Like Ross said earlier, I want her to be a permanent judge. She was funny. She brought good commentary, and if she was like a permanent fixture on the show, I would not be upset at all.
I love it.
I loved her. She was my queen of the week. Going backstage, talking on the runway, like, her personality is just... I love her. Next is your costume.
Okay. So at first it was going to be a tie, and then the one definitely won over the other. So I have to give just a quick shout out to Sharon Needles because that snake was awesome, and her face.
Her snake was awesome. I did not realize it was a hand.
Yeah. Until for a second, I was like, how did
I
she
thought
get
it was attached.
to do
yeah,
that?
I thought it was attached to her boat, and then it was her hand.
I mean, her boat was busted. Latrice the Beast yet again wins out.
Latrice the Beast.
That hair and the lips. Like, that was so good.
She
killed that boat theme. She looked gorgeous as always. I'm telling you, she is the one to watch out for.
She is. She's like the dark. I feel like she's the dark horse in the competition because everyone's like, "Oh, we love Latrice," but they don't think that she can actually win. But
she could totally win.
She could be like, "Ooh, hey girl, I'm skating through to the end," and then top 3 happens. And she kicks
honestly,
the
my
shot.
top 3 right now. I'll throw this out there, even though that's not part of our little episode. Is Chad, Sharon, and Latrice. Because to me, they are the most consistently entertaining.
That's true.
So I'll throw that out there.
But costume, I said Fifi O'Hara only because I loved her color, the purple color, and then she had like the purple in her hair. She used the same fabric for her costume and her bow. Her bow was very simple and chic, like Billy said. Mm-hmm. And like for me, she was the only person besides Willem who had a decent bow. So that's why I said she was my costume of the week, because her bow went with her costume.
That's true.
And it
she
complemented,
the shoulder of her costume. If you saw, like when Ru was talking to her, it was a done costume and there was a shoulder piece, and she took that and put it on
her bow.
The bow, which like tied it all together. I thought her costume was actually really good. Yeah.
So, and her makeup this week, even the judges said her makeup this week was like a step up from what she usually does.
And I remember last week I put her in the bottom too because I was worried that them telling her like step it up was gonna scare her, but obviously it didn't.
Instead of firing her ass.
And she's doing well.
Well, Willem won the mini challenge. Well,
and the main challenge.
And the main challenge.
Queen of the week. So this week, the bottom 2
were my predictions from last week. My predictions were Jiggly and Milan, and I was right. Jiggly and Milan were in the bottom 2, but really I only feel like Milan was in the bottom 2 because they didn't like her. I'm sorry. There was no other reason.
They needed an excuse, and that's why they edited in the part about her saying if she rips off her wig one more time.
Yeah. They go, oh, your boat was all about you, but Willem's boat was all about her. So, like, that's not a reason to put her in the bottom 2.
And it sucked to watch her go, but I got that ripping your clothes off.
She did exactly what they wanted her to do to send her home.
They were very pleased.
She ripped off her clothes, she ripped off her wig, which I don't condone. And they performed to Born This Way by Lady Gaga. And what are your predictions for next week?
Next week, we kind of see that they're doing a magazine shoot cover, I believe.
Like a magazine or a book. Like, they always do, like, some kind of promotional thing.
I feel like Jiggly is just kind of reaching her end. I feel like she'll be in the bottom 2. And I'm hoping, especially with the shade that was finally thrown to Dita, that it'll be Dita and Jiggly, and honestly, Jiggly, you better kill that and send Dita home, finally.
But Dita is a good lip singer. Those are my bottom 2 also. As much as I don't like Dita and I want her to go home. The one time that she was in the bottom 2, she turned it out. Mm-hmm. But that was against someone who was not turning it out. Right. The princess. Like, Jiggly can perform fiercely. The reason why I think Dita's going to be in the bottom 2 for sure next week is because Ru said, I'm throwing you a lifeline. It's your last lifeline.
Right.
Like, girl, because Billy B clocked her. He was like, girl, you wore a t-shirt 2 weeks in a row. Who wears a t-shirt in drag? I wear a t-shirt to bed. Girl. But that's neither here or there.
Well, hopefully it's gone. Hopefully next week it's sent home.
I think that's it.
I think that's all that we have to say.
But stay tuned for next week and watch What's the Tea?
What do you want? What's the tea? You tell me what's the tea.
There's like this silence, and Sharon goes, I like the way you think, but that didn't make no goddamn sense.